You guys ready for a knock knock joke?
Oh, what we
What you
got?
got?
What we got?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Ben.
Ben who?
Bend over. I think I should have a bad joke every single week just to get started. I couldn't think of anything. Dover. I couldn't think of anything to bring in Dover other than bend over. And plus, we're late night. We're explicit apparently. So
no Diddy.
Get your
No
Diddy.
Hey.
Get your mind out the gutter.
Oh my gosh. All
Bend
right,
over.
guys.
Okay, I'll give you that, Crystal. All right, thank you. I wasn't
Thank
expecting
you.
that. Good job
Yes,
on the
since we got
joke.
Dover coming, thank you. Since we're coming up on Dover this weekend, I thought I'd do something kind of fun. I forgot what we
Bend
did
over.
last week. Oh Lord. I mean, we were talking about Talladega and those people talking about show your butthole last week, so we gotta have fun. So we are you guys are in Dover now, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we're here.
Awesome.
What hotel you in, Chris? Yeah, we look like we have similar rooms. We have similar decor.
Casino. Where you at?
Oh, I'm in the Dover Downs Casino. I'm on the ninth floor, homie.
Eighth floor, homie.
I'm
Wait, so
right
you both
above
are
you.
Dover? So they keep you both at Dover Downs?
Well, it's different. It varies.
We are. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is a hard hotel to get into. It's right by the track. So I mean, it's not the most luxurious, but as far as convenience, I mean, when you can golf cart to the racetrack in the morning and then golf cart back to your room, I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
Wait, Justice, are you so you're golf karting too then, Justice?
Hey, listen, man, it's like the country club, right?
I was about to say, I thought it was just Rocko that was getting in the golf cart everywhere he goes.
Oh no! Don't let Justice fool you now. That boy be rolling and moving and dealing. You know, he's rubbing elbows with the upper echelon over there, Stuart Haas. So you know,
okay.
Don't get it twisted. Justice has some clout over there.
I believe
little horsepower. You know what I mean?
That's perfect. Horses, because Dover Downs. Anyways.
See?
I'm clever tonight. All right. Well, so talking about Dover quickly, I know that Legacy Motor Club has revealed a paint scheme for this week, and they're honoring with the Petty Blue. It's supposed to be Erik Jones's 43 car, right? But
broke his back. Compression fracture, which is tough.
Awful.
Prayers go out to him.
Yeah, so Corey Heim's going to be taking over for Erik Jones this week. How long do you think he's going to be out for that?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Eric Almirola had a similar issue a few years ago from a crash where Danica Patrick and him got involved, and he had a back issue. I think it was similar to what Erik Jones has. So, is it career ending? I don't think so, but obviously, when you get into those compression fractures in the back, you gotta proceed with caution, right? So,
how many drivers have we had with that? I mean, it seems like a prevalent injury when a car goes up and comes down. Because I also remember Denny Hamlin having a similar injury as well, and he was very vocal on it. To the point where he physically felt different until about 8 months. And then as soon as he started feeling different, when he felt like he was healed, he started winning races again. I can't remember what year that was, but I mean, you got to think of how drivers gauge a feeling of the car. They do it through the seat, through their butt. And I mean, so you got to understand where if you're having a compression fracture, how that affects your feeling and your aptitude to handle that car, You can probably do it, but you might not have the same touch and feel. It's like if this was football, it's like playing with a cast on, essentially, where yes, you can do it, but you're not your natural 100% self. So speedy recovery, but at the same time, opportunities like that, that they present. I mean, situations like that present opportunities. And Corey
Yeah.
Heim,
Hmm.
it's time for Heim time, as they like to say on TV. It's pretty cool. So I'm excited to see how the young boy does there. With
I
that
mean, if
type of
he does
equipment.
well, if he does well, we may see him in Cup Series next year. You think?
Hey, you never know, right? That's how, like you say, it's time to shine, right? You get the opportunity. Hopefully, Corey takes advantage of it, gets his name out there, shows what he can do on the big stage, and good luck to him.
Well, how do you take advantage of it, and what is considered a success here? Because this is a very tough track, 1 mile racetrack. So does he go and just base hit it, or do you use this opportunity to show, hey, look what I got, So it's a slippery slope
Well,
that these drivers have to battle.
I was
I
gonna say you
think, I think,
probably go ahead.
I think for this weekend with Corey, I think a good finish will show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's make it to the end, right?
Yeah,
Let's be competitive. Let's be smart. Let's be clean. You might not necessarily be top 3, but a top 10 in this situation for Corey Heim is just as well as a victory, right?
I think even a top 20 would be okay. I don't think that'd be great, but if you can
Mm-hmm.
basically keep up with what the 43 typically does, or just do a little bit better, then I think that's good. And then just overall, even if you don't have a great finish, have some moments and have a great race.
I
Like
mean,
just race well.
anytime it's your first time, you might want to take it slow or take it easy. But at the same time, that's an opportunity to. I mean, if you're feeling confident, I'm the type of dude. If I've raced this track before in other series, as Corey Heim has as well, so he's familiar on that end.
Mm,
And now you have an opportunity, to really, he didn't just cruise through, get this opportunity by just walking through. I mean, he sprinted through last year. He had a lot of wins and he was dominant. So he seems like a very confident young man to the point where, he doesn't say much. He's very reserved. And when I see him, he just seems very, very confident, very focus driven. So he seems like a young man that's been here before, is how I like to say it. It seems like his family has groomed him well. They're into racing. So this is not your typical guy, just trying to make a name for himself. He's been bred for this,
yeah.
as what it appears, in my opinion.
I think I read somewhere that Josh Berry got his first Cup career start here. I don't
Hmm.
know if that's exact. I don't know if I read that right. I would have to go back and find it, but that's interesting.
That's a
Now
Well, I
question
he's
for
think I
Adam.
think Josh Berry filled in for a Hendrick car,
Yeah,
yeah,
when Chase Elliott, was it that
but
Chase Elliott when his
did,
back was broken?
or
is
his
that
I
the
mean, his
leg was
first?
leg was
broken.
broken.
Is that the
His
Leg was
first
leg.
broken.
time? Is that the first time that he got behind the? I'm not sure. I don't have the chat open, but Adam would probably have that answer. Anyways, the first NASCAR Cup Series race at Dover Motor Speedway was held July 6, 1969. And
Hmm.
obviously, since they're celebrating Richard Petty, he was the first one to win there. And they also said that he's going to have a statue there. It's like the Petty hat statue. Do they
That's
still?
Another
big.
one.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
what if
know.
they put the hat on top of Miles?
I was gonna.
Oh,
Well, I don't know. I wasn't gonna say on top of Miles, but first of all, Jimmy Johnson is back this week, I believe, right?
Yep, yep.
And then also, his Ally car still up there from his retirement year? Like Miles the Monster was holding his car
I,
as part of
I I
his
drove by it
memorabilia.
today. I drove by it today to see what car he
Uh
was
huh.
holding. It looked like a Dover default car, but I was so distracted by this huge
The duck.
yellow duck.
Ah!
This
I,
duck was monstrous. I mean, it looked like Miles could
it's the.
open up this duck, stand inside the duck, and do backflips in it. Is how big this duck was. And
I heard about
Adam,
that.
I'm gonna send you the picture. I have the picture, and I did a
I want to
video. I
see
didn't send
it.
to you before, but if I could show you on my phone, since y'all
It's
didn't
supposed to
see,
be
and
the
then
biggest
Adam, you
rubber. It's
you
supposed to be the biggest
upload it
rubber
later.
duck in the world, right?
Oh, I believe it. All
It's
right,
no.
so
I
let's
think
see.
that's exactly what it is.
Well, it better be if it was that big, because let's see if you can see this. Hold on, let me get a better
I only
picture.
see like the tail and the wow, and that's like in the children's or kids zone or whatever,
That's
right?
his butt. Look, that's the video.
Duck
that's a
butt.
big rubber ducky.
That's a
Oh,
big
wait.
rubber ducky.
Wow.
So I have to send you that, Adam, so you can
You have
put
to
that
take
up
a
there.
picture
But
in front of it.
I mean, the duck was huge, you know.
I
I mean, if
believe
that
it.
gives you
Jeez.
perspective, you know, it was crazy. But yeah. So I was distracted. I didn't see what car it was, but at the end of the day, the largest rubber duck stole the show for me.
Wow. Yeah. Be there all weekend. Well, let's go back to Talladega because we were just talking about Erik Jones and his back. Like, did you guys even
Hmm.
hear or see the in-car camera from that?
It was, yeah. I
That was
mean, if you were listening
awful.
to it, I mean, at the end of the day, it should provide perspective because you remember what we said. You know, these guys look like, you know, they're just driving, riding around, going left to right, you know, going left in circles. But those cars are going at high speeds, and when they wreck, you have to tip your hat to NASCAR and the safety innovations with this car because you just don't see people dying anymore. You know,
No, thank
you're
God.
seeing stress fractures, you're seeing
Well, Kurt
stuff like
Busch,
that.
he
I
didn't
get it,
die. I'm saying his career, I just career-ending injuries are
but
still.
but Crystal, you know, I had an OG guy tell me at the racetrack when he was talking about back in the day and how commentators used to broadcast. It was like it was not even frowned upon. I mean, well, it was just common day when you would hear the rundown of who won the race, and it would sound something like, you know, such and such finished first, such and such finished third, you know, such and such car died in turn four, or such and such finished fifth. You know, like back in the day before the safety really came about,
It was
it was
almost
pretty common.
expected. Yeah,
Yeah, you
I
know,
know
it's
even,
crazy.
like, if you go back before NASCAR, like F1, it was almost a guarantee that somebody was gonna die.
But that's what draws it to me, you know, that excitement and the fact that these guys and girls get in these cars and strap in and can do that. You know, I couldn't do that. So,
I couldn't even do it. Like, if you look at how Corey LaJoie finished, I swear that guy gets, like, the worst finishes on super speedways.
on
Because
two wheels
remember
on the side.
yeah, because remember there was, when Ryan Newman had his bad wreck, I thought Ryan Newman
Hmm.
died then. Oh my god, that was crazy. But, you see
Mm,
him coming out of the car and he can't breathe, and everybody just thought that he was, like, kneeling and praying, but no, he was just trying to catch his breath. And I think
hmm.
he's the one that finished upside down, right? And
Yeah,
is he yeah, so and now when he finished, he just finished sideways.
yeah, I know. And,
You
you
would
know.
never see me go back into a car after that. Not even like you're right. I wouldn't even ride as a passenger for at least 2 years. I would stay home. Just stay home.
Well, you also got the innovations and the technology now where we got the in cars. You got the quarter like off the rear wing camera angles now. Like the way that
Hmm.
we have these views are incredible, right? So it puts you in the seat, right? You had the helmet cam. So like in that crash in
Hmm.
Talladega, you can ride with the 41 of Ryan Priest. And you can see the crash from
Mm,
his perspective, right? And you can hear the cars, you can hear the sounds, you can hear the brakes, you can hear the metal, mangling and just the crash itself.
Hmm.
And it puts you in the ride with them, right? So,
yeah.
just the way the technology has taken over puts us in a spot now where we can, get a catbird seat of these accidents.
Hmm.
Yikes. I saw that like the next day and I was just like, yeah, no, you never see me doing that. And that's probably why I'm so intrigued. Like you said, it's just it draws you into it. Like I'm not sitting there hoping for something to happen, but it's just that awe that catches you like, hang on. Like who's gonna wake up in the morning and go out there and actually do this and then keep doing it? Like you
Hmm.
know?
But let's talk about that race because remember if I remember correctly last week, you know, the number one topic was the speed of the race and how was the race. You know, you had two perspectives. You had some who thought that, you know, racing in the pack and the fuel mileage is not um and it pisses a lot of purists off because at the end of the day, you have to think they were saving fuel mileage, correct? And that could be considered a strategy. Can you really notice if the cars are going 15 miles an hour slower on the racetrack if no one says it? At the end of the day, it looked very competitive. You know, I will give it that the first two stages were a bit lackluster because of the fact of the matter. When you're saving fuel, you're not putting yourself in precarious situations. You're not stressing stuff out. So you're not going to wreck as much. And at the end of the day, you know, these guys are trying to make it to the end. So that's why stay, you know, kind of exciting, you know, and how it was. Now, how do you fix, you know, these long dulls of you know, not wrecks or whatever, not be exciting racing? Well, you just change your perspective on how you look at it. And I feel like if the commentators, don't focus so much on the speed, but focus more on the strategy at hand and explain it in a way where people can understand it, you'll have less confusion of strategy compared to just not racing hard, or not giving 100%. How can you not give 100% no matter what speed you're going when you're racing that close together and, in a pack for such a long time? Not to mention, all the data that's coming through, not only from the war room back home, but from the pit boxes, these engineers and these crew chiefs, to be able to calculate fuel mileage and without a fuel gauge in your car and to communicate to a driver, okay, lift here, push the gas pedal this much down, and we'll have this amount of. I mean, that's pretty impressive to me, and it's pretty amazing that all teams don't do that equally well. And the ones that do it really well, those are the ones that end up coming, on the top of these fuel mileage type races. So, I mean, you just have to appreciate what it is a little bit more. And, you don't look at it as, they're not giving 100% or they're not going as fast, because at the end of the day, you didn't know how fast they were going unless if the commentators never talked about that. They should have just focused on a different way of communicating, especially for new race fans. That's the only thing that I take away from, watching that race last week.
No, they did do that, right? You had your strategy of these guys pitted, right? And these guys can run hard, and these guys are only running 60% throttle, right? But they're still 2x2x2x2x2 for 8 rows, right?
Yeah.
And you heard the commentators saying, you heard
anybody can hold it wide open.
Yeah, right. Right. Like let's push the issue here. And they sped up and they went single file for a few laps and they were 2x2x2 again, right? You know what I mean? And to have those engineers, to your point, say, hey, we're 2 laps to the good to the end of the stage if we run 65% throttle, right?
Yep.
We're 3 laps short if we run wide open. So the leaders are at disadvantage in these speedway races, right? Because you have to run wide open, right? If you're 3rd, 4th, 5th in line, you're running half throttle.
But Chris, but you know what was great about that? The strategy of those that wanted to go hard. Look at the Toyotas when they short pitted. They pitted early as a group. Short pitted, but banking on themselves that they were just going to outrun everybody faster. And it was a gamble until 3 of those 6 cars wrecked and pulled the caution out.
The tunnel, over the built-in bumps.
Yep.
At the tunnels.
Yep.
Right.
So you see how they were pushing, but at the same time, that caution ended up helping them because it brought out the caution after they pit. But you cannot predict that. You can't plan that in your strategy. Sometimes you need a little luck to happen, to put yourself in position. And I know because we won this race, with Jeff Gordon 2015, one of them years. I don't know. I'm just saying, I ain't pointing no elbows or nothing, but we might have won this race. Just saying.
Well, I mean, at least let's give some credit to
we might have a race winner on this here. I'm just saying.
Let's give some credit where it's due in here. let's forget about Jeff Gordon and Hendrick for a little bit.
All right.
Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you. Noah Gragson got a top 3 finish.
He did.
And he was complimented well by Keselowski, saying that he was a good pusher the whole race. So he did well.
That could have went any way, Crystal. They were in the catbird.
It really could have. I really thought he was gonna. I was like, there's a chance that I was on my feet at that point. Like usually on a Sunday, I'm exhausted because I get home at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning from work, and so I had the TV on. I recorded the race, so I just went to my bed where there's no TV. I just had the sound. I was kind of like laying down. That's no indication of whether the race is enjoyable or not. It's just I'm tired. But for like I think it was like the last 14 laps, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go in the living room and watch the end of this because I know this is when it's gonna get good. And what was it? They had the 2-lap finish, or what am I trying to say?
White.
Yeah,
green white checker.
Yeah, so it was crazy though, because then you see Michael McDowell do this crazy plot that you just wouldn't expect anybody to do. But at the same time, you are trying to win in the very last second, so you're going to do everything possible to win the race. I thought that was great. But like I said, congratulations to SHR.
Noah ran a good race, right? He put himself there to be in a position at the end. It was a smart race all day. Stay out of trouble, right? So in these speedway races that we have, what is it, 6 of them now? If you include the 2 Atlanta races, you got to be at the end, right? And it's like you said, luck of the draw, right? You can have a great day, and somebody else, like the Toyotas, have a hiccup.
Oh yeah, because the Fords were in a position to win that, And first of all, this was their weekend. Remember we said that it was the 40th anniversary of a Ford Mustang. Jack Roush was the Grand Marshal. They've won 4 of the last 9 races at super speedways. They haven't won a race at all this year, and we're running first. Yes, they dominate and wreck.
And they wreck. And if Noah would have went high and Tyler Reddick would have went low, we might have had a different discussion, right? Like,
yeah,
and that's the game you play. But to finish P3 of the speedway race, car comes home clean. That's a win in itself, right?
Yeah,
like, As the big picture is, that's a good points day. That's a good confidence morale booster. You get out of there, with your car intact, and you go home with some good points.
And you need them points because we're 10 races in, dude. We're almost halfway. We got the all-star race looming up, and these teams are telling on themselves on the type of team they are and who they are right now. The ones that are having the mistakes now, they're probably going to be having the mistakes towards September and October, and that might be the mistake that keeps them out of the playoffs. The teams that have everything buttoned up this early in the season, those might be the teams that might be geared to put a long run into the playoffs because you should have it figured out by now, by race 10 on, what you have going on. And you should be, as far as the points are concerned, these teams are going to have to make a decision if they're going to try to win these races or they're going to try to obtain as many points as you can, whether it's in the stages, whether it's leading laps or whatever the case may be, because I think some fillers are going to be hurt as we get closer to, this cutoff and the playoffs are going to begin because there's some teams in trouble, really good teams, that usually perform well and, are just in the wrong place at the wrong time or whatever the case may happen. So that's what I'm looking out for.
Let's take a look at who our pit crew is for no tracks, because that's who actually got highlighted this week at Talladega too.
Yeah, they did. Them Stewart-Haas boys.
Let's check these boys out. Let's check these boys out.
I'm Ryan Mulder, front tire changer from Sioux Center, Iowa. Grew up around dirt track racing and wanted to be on a pit crew, and this is my 14th season in the sport.
My name's Trevor White. I'm a former wide receiver at Baylor University, 5th year pitting race cars.
Tyler Bullard, the only tire carrier for Noah Gragson on the 10 car. Hometown, King, North Carolina. Home track, the Madhouse, Bowman Gray Stadium. I also work at Stewart-Haas as an engineer during the week.
Sean Cotton, Jackman, former Daytona 500 winner. Kurt Busch, drafted by the Washington Nationals as a catcher.
James Ace Keener, fueler. I got to be a part of Tony Stewart's last win at my home track at Sonoma.
Boy, you hear them accents?
Look at them boys right there. Look at them boys right there. You got from football players, you got baseball players, catchers, right?
Oh, I heard
local
Washington.
dirt track heroes.
What's that team's like, Chris? If you was able to, describe that team in 3 words or less, how would you describe them compared to their other teammates at Stewart-Haas? Because they seem very reserved at the racetrack. You got a mix of veterans and young guys there, but I don't know. You're over there. You see them a lot.
Man, listen, I would say that is a charismatic team right there, bud. You got Sean Cotton, man. He's a hell of a guy. He's the glue, man. He's like that. He's like that old coach, right? That you have that comes around and just is full of knowledge. Ace, hell of a gas man, right? You got Mulder there, who is like CrossFit king, man. You talk about nutrition and just staying mentally fit. That's your guy right there. Trevor, he's young, man. He's a sponge. He's taking a little bit from all of those guys around him to boost his career. Like you say, he's only got 5 years in, where like Mulder has 14 and Ace is a legend. He's got 10, 12 years, right? So, it takes a village. And Trevor's going to be good. Like you said, he's only on year 5.
Yeah.
Fresh out of Baylor. So he's still wet behind the ears, man. And he just sucking it all up.
And the thing about Trevor, too, he's wet behind the ears, but he's performing on a house car in the Cup Series. So, the experience that he's getting, with the drivers that he's getting, that's how you develop and, perfect your craft, is by teaming up with drivers trying to make a name for themselves as well. And I feel like that's what Noah's trying to do.
Yep. So it's a good
Even
combo,
though we
man.
already know who he is. We already know who Noah is. He ain't trying to make a name for himself. He's trying to win some races.
He's trying to win it, baby. He's got to go get
I was
it.
about to say, I'm pretty sure everybody already knows who Noah Gregson is.
Facts. I take that back. My bad.
No, they know.
Vegas kids.
No
All right.
one.
So do we have anything on the pit crew now? Is there anything after that? I want to kind of move forward and talk about Dover, but I didn't want to leave anything out.
No, I
Hey,
mean,
man,
as
All
far
right.
as
All right. Can you guys
Dover Downs. Here we go. Dover
wait? Can
Downs.
you guys see my computer blinking? Because like every now and then it's like blacking out, and I feel
I
like
just
you
see
can
it in
see
your
that.
glasses.
Oh, okay. I just had to make sure because it's like I could see it, and then it looks like it goes like the screen goes black. All right, perfect. We'll go ahead and talk about Dover and Dover Downs. So
Dover Downs.
yes, track. We'll talk about records and stats first. So Denny Hamlin, he has the track qualifying record at 166 miles or 166.94 miles per hour. 21.5 seconds. That was 2019. You got your track race record, Kyle Larson.
Yep.
135 miles an hour. That was 2019 as well. Let's see.
And you remember last year, it was the brother sweep. You know, you had the Truex brothers win, which that was really cool. You know.
Oh yeah. That's right. I remember that.
Ryan
so he
Truex
is
won.
the previous race winner. So do you think that he can do it again, or do you think he's gonna get?
We've been saying that all year, you know, because Truex is, you know, remember he's the nice guy that gets kind of bullied at the end, you know. But this is a racetrack that he does really well at, and like I said, him and his brother won, and they're at that point. They had a pit crew change, you know. Truex got his first couple in, thanks Adam, you know, here at at Dover. So it's a good track for him. At the same time, you know, when you have a pit crew change at a place like Talladega, like they did last week, the ramifications of that aren't felt as much because you're not doing a lot of pit stops at Talladega. Tire degradation is not as high, so you're not doing a lot of pit stops. It's all about fuel mileage. Not the case at Dover, baby. This is a concrete track. It's very banked, and it is very narrow on pit road. And what I mean by that is I'm not necessarily talking about in the pit box, but when your car is actually in the pit box and you're facilitating the pit stops, the cars that are going by you in the other boxes before or behind you, they are extremely close to you. So that's what I mean by narrow. So it's one of those unique tight butt cheek situations. You know, your butt cheeks stay tight the entire time during the pit stop because it might get knocked off. Those cars are running so fast to you. And you know, like I said, I know because we won this thing in 2015 on a green flag stop. And you know, it was crazy how that happened.
2014, wasn't it?
It was whenever it was 2014. Yep. What did I say?
2015. I think he placed 10th that year. Anyways, let's going back to like the specs of the track. Obviously, we go back to a mile. Boo-hoo.
It's a 1 mile track. All concrete too.
Yeah, all concrete.
So concrete.
Yeah. Last year, actually, the starting lineups were set per the rule book because of weather, and I think weather.
Last 3 years were set by weather.
I was about to say, I think it's going to end up happening again because it's supposed to be raining this week. This weekend.
Negative.
Right? Oh, did
Negative.
I don't
Negative.
know. I thought I saw a forecast where it was
no
like
R word. No R word in the forecast.
I thought I saw a couple days. It's raining out here, but
it usually always rains here at Dover. You know, as soon as you get off the plane and walk into the track, it's always raining here. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that not the case this year.
No, the forecast is really nice, actually.
Yeah, it's nice.
What?
Yeah. We'll contribute that to global warming.
Yeah,
we're getting it all out here. There's a thunderstorm going on as we speak. People don't think it rains out here. People don't think it gets cold out here. It does.
It never rains in Southern California.
No, it gets cold out there.
Las Vegas. The desert.
Vegas, Cali. What's the difference?
Once every. Whoa.
It's on the west. We're in the
No.
East.
Hold on. There's a huge difference between Las Vegas and Los Angeles. Like even Nevada and California, there's two separate places. Let's
Crystal,
not
they're
get into.
both west from us. They're both
Okay, so
west. They're
then
the
that
same.
means that everybody that is back east and the southeast, or like pretty much everybody near that Bible Belt, is all the South. It's all the same.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
All the clay roads and moonshine.
You can have your uniqueness from Cali. So
What you know about that moonshine, Crystal?
I've tried moonshine before. I don't know that it's
Flavored
been
or
like
straight up?
both. I actually, yeah, I've tried both. I don't
that
know how I feel.
gas,
Yeah, but I didn't drink a whole bunch of just the
that
straight
oil,
moonshine.
that
Ugh,
oil. We call it
I
ugh.
that
hope.
oil.
I hope not. I hope you took it slow. You know what I mean?
I did. I learned my lesson early on because the first week of college.
Yeah, you
uh,
learn.
yeah. So I could tell you, I tried Everclear. That was my first alcoholic beverage, and it was mixed with Powerade. Didn't taste a thing, and it was a
Oh, you
learning
went hard
curve.
in the paint.
It
You
was
went
a
hard in
learning
the paint.
curve. It was a learning curve. So by the time I ever had the opportunity or the chance to try moonshine, I think I had graduated college by then. And then
Okay, all right.
flavored moonshine, I did not try until I think when I went to Bristol in 2020 or
That
2021.
makes sense. You over there in the hills.
Yeah,
That makes
I tried pickled moonshine. I tried some kind of blue raspberry.
No, you need that banana pudding.
You know which one
That
is good?
banana
The
pudding.
one that's good is that it's like okay, don't make fun of how I say it.
all right. You get a pass.
Pecan pie or
No, you
pecan
did it.
praline.
Pecan.
It was pecan praline. Is it pecan or
Okay.
pecan? Pecan. I say
Pecan or
pecan.
Go
pecan.
ahead.
I
All
say it
right.
both ways.
All
Yeah.
right.
Depends on
Yeah.
who I'm
It was.
around. Depends on the group I'm around.
I say pecan because I'm
Pecans.
I piquant.
Yeah. All right. So you got some exposure to the flavors.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the
Mhm.
pecan
All right.
praline is probably my favorite. I don't know what you have. Shouldn't have a problem with the pickle. You ever had a pickleback?
Yes. In
Yeah.
Whataburger.
What? How do you
Whataburger
get
makes it.
how do you what? They sell
Whataburger
alcohol. Whataburger. Wait,
without the
Waterburger.
alcohol.
Wait, say
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Say Whataburger.
Whataburger.
There,
Whataburger.
there's no R.
Whataburger.
There's no R.
Whataburger.
And I didn't know they sold alcohol.
It's not alcohol. What I thought of the
A
pickleback
pickleback.
was
Tell me.
is all the drinks and then you put a pickle in it. They go down the fountain and then it's a cherry lime something with a pickle in it. Cherry lime something blah 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 something. But it's good, it's just weird. Oh, I'm sorry. It's called a witch doctor. That's what it's called.
I was like,
Not a
I've lived.
pickleback.
I was like, I've lived in Texas for 7 years and went to
Sorry.
What a Burger
I
several
travel a lot. I
times.
get it confused, y'all. Come on. I'm a foodie.
I
I be
I
drinking
never
and
even
eating
heard of
every
that
state of.
happening. They put a pickle in a cherry something.
Yep, it's called a witch doctor. Google it. Where's Adam at? Adam, Google the ingredients to the witch doctor at the Whataburger.
Adam is our .com specialist. You
Yes,
didn't
he
know.
is.
Waterburger, y'all
He'll
are
get to it.
Waterburger. That makes me so mad. No, a pickleback, depending on location and who your bartender is, you have your spirit. It's typically Jameson in some areas, but I've
Oh,
heard of
yeah.
people doing tequila, and then you take the shot of pickle juice as a back. Like,
Behind it.
yeah. So
Mhm.
pickleback shot.
Well, now I know.
Okay.
Keep you
all
from
right.
cramping later.
You
Yeah, you
know,
can drink and run.
that's such a sports thing to drink pickle juice. That's how you know you play football. Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
we got the ingredients. Say
Just
it.
mix up several different sodas and combine them with some pickle juice. Slice a few pickles for relish, and you have the witch doctor.
Yes, that's it.
That's at Whataburger.
Yep, and you can order it. Give me a witch doctor.
All right, that's something I'll have to try. I'm probably not going to like it, but I will try it. I like pickles. I love pickles. I was eating pickle dip on the last 2 shows. All right.
Now, I will say the ones that order those on a regular basis, tend to be a bit on the heavier side, but I won't go there.
All right. Well, speaking of being in a little bit of a pickle, Team Penske leads the NASCAR Cup
Oh.
Series in poles at Dover with 11
Mm-hmm.
poles among 4 drivers.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
what
This,
that mean? They're gonna win? What do you
that means
think?
I
that
don't
means that
know.
they
We
got
gotta
the
wait on
truck
a
figured
Ford to
out.
win. If it's gonna be Penske, who do you think would win?
Penske has been in the news for not good reasons either, but
For win
Penske is the
for winning illegally.
yes, because
Hmm.
they're forward thinkers and innovators. Do we not remember? Are we surprised
No.
at what Penske is doing? Because look at what they did with Joey Logano and the glove and all of that.
The
I mean,
glove is
I'm
the glove
still
is
impressed by that.
the
With the
glove is
with the
nothing.
webbing, with the
But the
webs.
the glove is nothing compared to what happened in IndyCar, even though
I
I don't
get
watch
it.
a whole lot of IndyCar, but it's kind of crazy because you have to remember that Roger Penske owns IndyCar.
Yep. And
And
they
then
show
you
they're not playing any favorites. They show you.
yeah, but he's also the champion. He won the Indy 500 last year.
He also
Uh,
owns Indianapolis Motor
it's just
Speedway, right?
it's just weird. And I mean it's
Hmm.
cheating whether he knew it or not at the time. But I think it's just very interesting. I don't know.
Somebody.
Somebody knew about the aspect. He might have not known, but somebody knew.
Somebody. So do you think some people are gonna be losing their jobs, or is it just gonna be like just take the penalty and
I think you just take the penalty.
Yeah.
You got to push the envelope in racing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
yeah.
know, at the end of the day, like Rocco says, end of the day, you have to push those envelopes, right? Like you can't just go status quo, get stock parts off the shelf and put them on and
Mm-mm.
expect to win races, right? You have these
Mm-mm.
engineers, you have these smart guys in places to
Mm-hmm.
find that gray area and to exploit it, right?
Preach.
So they just got caught exploiting the gray area, and the
Mm,
governing body was not happy with the exploitation of the gray area,
Yep.
right? So that's why rules are written.
they didn't push the envelope, they pushed to pass the wrong
Hey,
time.
that happens. Sometimes you need, you know, half
Hey,
inch to
you
go
can learn from that. You
make.
can learn from these pushing of the rules. At the end of the day, I like the dedication to performance, to
Mhm.
excelling, to beating someone else. By any means necessary. Within the rules, and sometimes you need to push the limits to figure out how far you can go. That's what championship teams do.
Right. Absolutely.
All right.
You
All
have
for
to push it.
cheese.
You have to.
If not, someone else will, and they'll probably end up beating you. So it is what it is.
Well, I don't watch or follow IndyCar as close for me to realize what's going to happen towards the end of the year. So, I mean, I just thought that was an interesting piece of news.
It was. I agree. It was
Yeah.
interesting.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
lost my place in my notes.
No,
Sorry.
but it's a part of the sports, man. Any racing, you got to push the envelope, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
You got to see how far you can go before you get the little slappy on the wrist.
Oh, well, I wonder what the next controversy is going to be in NASCAR.
It's probably going
Anyways,
to be.
hmm? What? What?
You already know what it's going to be. We'll
Do
get there. I'll
I?
let you get
Do
there.
I?
I'll let you know when
I was
we
going to talk
get to
about
it.
tires and concrete because we're now at a concrete track. Something Chris's team knows all about. Apparently, y'all
Mhm.
are pros at concrete. Chase Briscoe, he's good. I don't know
That's
about
good.
Dover,
I mean,
but
you gotta like you say, those racers,
mhm.
right? They have their favorites, right? They have their deal. Um,
What's
and
the difference between concrete and asphalt? That's what a lot of people who are watching don't even know. When we say a
Tire
concrete
well,
track,
wear,
they're like, so?
tire wear and
yeah,
grip.
your grip levels change versus concrete and asphalt. The tire temperatures change versus concrete to asphalt. Concrete is cooler uh, than asphalt will be in the middle of the day, right? So the track won't hold the heat as well as a concrete track won't hold the heat as well as hot as or as long as an asphalt track will.
So
Um,
about what kind of track temperatures are we looking at then going into Dover? Like if it's
Sunday
at
is a high of
70,
78.
yeah,
right. So
so
high
but that
78.
means that
So
the
at is if this was asphalt, if the high was seven
mhm,
eight, at 20 degrees to the track temp, maybe
okay.
on average,
Mhm.
right? So heat and the tires build grip, right? They always say get your tires hot, clean them off, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you got a built-in 20 degrees plus 20, your grip level changes, and with the concrete, you don't have that.
Mm-hmm. And your crew chiefs have to adapt to that and know that when they're doing their setups. Your drivers have to know that when they're driving and how hard they push it or don't push it. So
Right.
that's the skill set that's involved between it doesn't affect the pit crew as much as it does the drivers and the way they race, but they will come down every single time. You might have some 2 tires here, but I think 4 tires is the way to go.
You might get 2 tires when you got close to the end of a stage, right?
Green run, green flag stop, or something like that.
Right, but like on the average, everybody's taking 4 at Dover because tires matter. The concrete is going to be more abrasive than your asphalt track will be.
True.
Right, so you'll get that built-in tire wear, the tire fall off. But it's going to be relative to the speed of the race and the race strategy, right? So to the pit stop strategy, you're going to have, like I said, maybe a 2 tire stop at the end of the stage where you have minimal laps to go before the stage end, where you're coming back down to take 4. Or you might take 2 at the end of the race to get that position, right? Track position's key. It's hard to pass here. You know what I mean?
Very hard.
Because this is only a mile track, and it's fast, and it's banked,
and you get lapped quick,
So those that start in the rear, so tomorrow when they
get on it,
and you start in the back, you might be a lap down in 25 laps.
Tight booty. Tight booty.
Right? You'll be lapped down. You'll be a lap down in 25 laps. Now your strategy changes. Because now you have to try to stay on the lead, try to stay for that lucky dog, right? And hope the next guy doesn't get past in 10 more laps. So your day can get really long, really quick if you pop out back.
Do you see what Adam said? He said, reveal your tight booty.
Pause.
I was just going to say it's like the NASCAR BBL,
Get that tight booty knocked off on pit road. It's so tight on there, boy.
Yeah.
Well, both of you have a lot of experience at Dover, and we
pit stall selection.
Well, we'll get there, but we mentioned this earlier. You won with Jeff Gordon in 2014, and we were just talking about the car too last week with the
orange.
Yeah,
the orange car.
race
Yeah,
and hunger.
Hunger.
Yeah, the paint scheme. So let's roll a clip that I found.
Oh, you got a clip? Oh, you got a clip.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see this clip.
Let's see if we see
And we're in the last lap at Dover. 2001. The last time Jeff won at this racetrack. It doesn't seem like the years slip by that fast.
Well, they do, though. It certainly doesn't when you look at how Jeff Gordon's driven this year.
He won the championship in that 2001 year, winning on all the same tracks he's won on this year. Checkered flag at Dover today for Jeff Gordon. Gordon's through with a win at the Monster Mile.
Hey, doing the statement, boys. That's what I'm talking about. Heck yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Do you have like memories of those races like drivers do, where like you like remember how the day went and just like every little?
Want me to tell you?
Yeah.
All right, let me go back in time.
Oh, jeez.
I should have had popcorn.
I have to channel, because I have a my memory. Okay, I got it. It was the 92nd victory in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. His 4th victory. 19th top 10 finish in 2014. And his 5th victory and 25th top 10 finish in 44 races at Dover, okay? And mind you, after a dominant car, the pole sitter, Kevin Harvick, had a major issue on lap 254. And remember, there's 400 laps. Brought out the green flags pit stop cycle, and Gordon took control of this race on lap 305 and led the last 71 laps. Gained a 4-second lead, and during that time, all you're thinking is, I hope the caution doesn't come out with a lead that big. That's all you care about is hope the caution come out. It did not. we were victorious. And, at that time of Jeff's career, it was winding down and, you really wanted to send him out a winner. So it was very satisfying to give him one of those wins of a multiple year season. And, it was very fruitful. I got a Miles trophy from that win, and Jeff bought us a big one. And it was cool. At that time, you took it for granted because you just thought he was going to win all the time. And then when it didn't, and it stopped, you started to cherish those wins as they came towards the late of his career.
Especially when you thought it was your fault.
I didn't think it was my fault. I was told it was my fault, man. I had bullies, I had trollers, when you're the first in some, you get a lot of 50 cents coming at you, and 50, he was hard on me at the time, he was brutal. Luckily I had thick skin, but I was blamed for that. When
we
you
need
have
to get
a guy,
Coach on here.
nah,
No.
yeah, he's brutal. He'll be rough, but he does have a great memory though. So, he would be a good one to get on here because he
I think
has
that'd
damn
be
near
easy to
photogenic
do.
memory.
You could
He's
talk
a
to
knowledge
him.
bank for sure. He's a
Oh
knowledge bank.
yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
He remembers everything.
So, knowing that you have a lot of experience here, what's the pit road forecast? I mean, qualifying, pit box selection. If you got any cheat codes specifically
I
for
do.
this track.
Yeah, the cheat code is don't be in the back.
Yes,
you will get lapped.
Yes, you will. And you need the first box, so you need to qualify well. Then you need those openings. I think, the ideal boxes besides the first one would be if it's still set up the same way, pit box number 9, because it's that opening towards the front and right around the start finish line. If you pit that box number 17 or box number 15 right there, you have a really big opening there because you have a gap and you have a space in between. So it's almost like 2 boxes in between. But Ryan Blaney last year picked the last pit box number 40 last year. So it just depends on driver's preference, when they're going at speed, having to blend and slow down and get down to the bank end and merge, some drivers are better at doing that at the beginning of entry of pit road. Some like coming down towards the end. I personally at Dover, with it being so narrow, when you're pitted in that first to 10 pit boxes as a crew member and you're leading a race or running in the top 5,
hectic.
You're watching your car come a long way down, and it just builds up intensity and anxiety. And remember, it's very narrow in there. So idealistically, sometimes pitting at the end of pit road, is a strategy play, depending on your crew or your driver and his skill set, so the ones that can manage that the best are going to have a cheat code, for this race, and that's depending on tomorrow and how well they qualify and when they pick their pit boxes. So the race actually starts tomorrow, at qualifying.
Yeah, those boxes are tight. There's no room for error, right? Like you say, you're in there and that jack man's out there on the end of the jack and cars are buzzing by.
Tight booty.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I've seen them standing there just ready to go, just like squatting, like ready to jump.
You feel the breeze. You feel the breeze of the cars going by, right?
That
so
tight booty.
It's not a lot of room for error, man. And they're coming by. They're buzzing, and you'll see Sunday. You'll get some cars in there to get trapped in, right? They pit long, and the guy in front of them pit short, right? So now their pit is damaged, if you will, because now they have to back up to get out, right? So where they might have had a good stop, now it's messed up because of the guy pitting around them. Those are other factors that we have here, because of the boxes are so tight and narrow.
Yep.
So we're just gonna see a pit road BBL as well.
Exactly. Tighten up, squeeze them
for the pit crews. And maybe everybody else in the garage. This is actually quite important, and it's interesting that you ended up bringing this up like earlier today, because I didn't even think about it when I saw this whole non-compete thing that's going on in politics and the government. But the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, votes to ban non-compete agreements. So I know you guys said, at first hand, I was like, oh, maybe that does make a difference for pit crews because you guys do have contracts and maybe, other teams may try to poach somebody from another team, but legally you guys or pit crew is not able to do so unless this passes, right?
Well, yeah, if this passes, if they go along with it and it does go into effect, I think as soon as August, if there's no interjection
Yeah.
or
And of
anything.
course, they're trying. These
Right.
companies don't want that to happen, so they are suing, and it's just a matter of just waiting to see the ruling that they make. But the ramifications of this is huge,
Big time
huge.
huge. I mean, it
And
affects the industry. You know what I mean? And obviously, corporate America has their own view on it, right? In our world of racing, pit crew guys, engineer guys, aero guys, IT guys. There's a lot of different avenues or facets that this can play into and have an effect, right? So it could be a major decision and alter how we do business as a sport.
oh, it will. Oh,
I
it
was going to
will.
say, so that definitely, my focus when I heard about that is I was thinking of the pit crews because I understand that they are contracted, but then that also goes for people like you because you're IT, you're working for the team. So basically, any employee that is under a team, correct?
Right. Well, yeah. Most of your guys that travel, most of the guys that have access to
Intellectual property.
the intellectual property, to the assets, are under those contracts, right?
Y'all feel like story time?
To keep that intellectual property at home.
I think
or in the shop.
I think we have a little time for story time.
All right, good. Let me tell
Well,
you a
you
story.
get two this time. You get two this time.
Let me tell you a story, and I can relate personally to this and this non-compete because it affected me personally on a level, like no other. And it's part of the reason why I started OEM because I felt like this was something that, as a mentor that are bringing in athletes into the sport and promising them a career, for a long time, part of that is teaching them how to manage themselves as athletes, as professionals in a sport that previously had no place for us because it didn't exist. So when you have something like that, that is coming about, and mind you, this is my 20th season. This is Chris's 19th, 18th season as well. So when you have an influx of new individuals in a sport who had no direction previously, there needs to be some type of direction started. So when you have that going on, teams have been taking advantage of these non-competes for a long time. I was at a crossroads of my career where, I have made a name for myself and developed a reputation, and people wanted to acquire my services. Now, mind you, I was very loyal to teams that I was a part of at the time, and that was me. I had no desire to really leave, but even if I did, I knew that I would be limited for the simple fact of if I felt uncomfortable or wanted a change of scenery or wanted to compete with another team or another manufacturer, if I left the current team I had no control over my name, image, and likeness. I had no control over endorsements. I had no control of what was considered intellectual property or not. And I didn't find out until something had to be done or I wanted to do something. And they told me I couldn't because I had signed my rights away. Now, mind you, you're given the opportunity. Every athlete is given the opportunity in a negotiation to have their contract reviewed, either by your family or a paid lawyer. Now, mind you, I'm not speaking for everyone, but nobody's doing that. I'm not doing that. When I'm offered more money than I've ever seen in my life as a 25, 26-year-old individual, more than likely, I'm just focused on the bag and not the ramifications of the long term. That's not the case anymore. With the introduction to NILs and to the NCAA and all of the opportunities that are presented to owning your own name, image, and likeness, and the fact that you have guys really looking at these contracts in a way, and if this goes down with a non-compete, happens, you'll have guys well more comfortable. Not only will it increase, what these guys are making, there has been times this year where guys had opportunities to increase their pay $60,000-$70,000 and they weren't able to for the simple fact of a non-compete and the fear of that if they did pursue that, they couldn't work for another 11 months because of the fact that they have signed that non-compete. So if that goes away, think of the opportunity. This would turn into a modern day transfer portal almost. When a team, when an athlete wants to make a change, he can do that. And teams are going to have to come up with creative ways, which I already know how to do that. So, shout out to me if you need help restructuring your contract situation with your athletes. But you're going to have to come up with creative ways to keep your athletes to your team long term. And I know of ways to do that, which I won't say here because you're not going to take my ideas. But at the end of the day, this is a turning point in our career. And this is an opportunity to elevate our sport, in a way where, we're treating, we're being viewed and we're handling our people in a professional manner, just like the other spectator sports and stick and ball are doing as well, and this is a welcome change in my eyes, where we're getting out of the dark ages, and we're evolving and we're elevating and we're adapting to a new age as it relates to human performance, because the human performance aspect of this sport is not only exciting and compelling, it is the easiest way to gain track position. And all these teams know that. And the crew members are leveraging themselves as well because they know how valuable they are to these race teams and how hard they work to put themselves in position to be labeled the best in the world at what they do. And that's what we are witnessing. Yesterday, 2 days ago, at a specific race team, I got a call from an athlete that was excited because they just eclipsed the sub 8-second mark on pit stops. And did you hear what I'm saying? They're changing 4 tires in under 8. Now, mind you, that's practice, but the amount of energy, the amount of practice, the amount of dedication and focus as a team you have to accomplish that. I'm so excited for the pit crew competition, at North Wilkesboro, because these guys, the best of the best are going to display why they are called that. And at the end of the day, this is I hope this happens, I'm not even thinking about it, but if this happens and this comes about, it will be revolutionary to the way we manage athletes and the way athletes look at this sport moving forward, because they'll be treated and considered, and given the basic opportunities as other professionals in other sports. So, it's an exciting day for me. I'm hoping that this does go and it doesn't get any pushback more than what it already gets, and this does go through.
Yeah, it's going to come down to who can hustle the most on the lobbyists, right? Like who can hustle harder to see other side, because they're going to have arguments on both sides, right? The company wants to keep the assets and the worker bees want to take the assets, right? And get what they feel is owed in that regard, right? So it's going to be arguments on both sides.
You got to take the human. If this was a perfect world, you would take the human element out of it and just let AI handle it. Because humans, I don't trust humans. I don't trust.
You trust AI more than you trust humans?
Because they're unjudgmental and they go off of stats, but at the same time, they take into account that I'm gonna be real with you, and I am a realist. In my age, I see the stats. I know that the African Americans, United States, are only 14% of the population. About 14% of the population. With that being said, no competes for guys like me, or a win, because I'm always feeling like for a while that I've had to work twice as hard or was held back and not able to receive the same opportunities that others have. And non-competes are a big example of that, in my opinion.
Well, it's definitely in the verbiage, man. It's definitely in the verbiage of those non-competes.
It restrains me.
Those non-competes are the ways that the company wins, right? They're not set up for the worker bee to win and benefit at the end of the day.
But it can be, and if it was, it would be a way to differentiate yourself from other teams who aren't working that way, and that could be the difference maker in winning. And positive work environments, less confrontation, to the point where you're not thinking of your everyday job as a job. You're a part of a team that's looking to perform, and if you're not happy where you are, if you feel like you're held against your will, if you feel like a team doesn't have the best interest in, your best interest in their mind, how can you perform at your best?
See, no, it's a great argument, right? But to the point right now, the way that those non-competes are written, their benefit of the company or the
And
benefit
we
of the
sign
team.
them, and the guys are signing them because you feel
You have
like you
to.
have no choice, or you just have to, or you're not doing your due diligence. Because there are ways to get professional help, and mind you, I can help guys out with this. Where you can word it in a way where it doesn't alienate the team, it doesn't alienate the player, and then you can find a creative way where the team said, "Oh, we should have did this a long time ago." Because one, I don't have a disgruntled player that wants to leave here. Two, I don't have a player who's not experienced in negotiations or handling that, talking to guys who are, and do that for a living. Three, it creates a feeling of what's the word I'm looking for, where your players can be players and they can focus on performing and not have to focus on the logistics or the ramifications of contracts and stuff that doesn't interest them. That's what they should be paying someone to handle for them, or not even paying, just having a mentor or someone they trust or a family member, guide them in a way. And for guys like myself, new to a sport, in my opinion, from my experience, I didn't have the tools necessary to prepare myself in the sport when I received those contracts. I didn't have the people in my ears guiding me the right way. And I felt like I was taken advantage of certain teams out of my own ignorance, for the simple fact that I didn't do my due diligence. And if I have an opportunity to change a life, because that's essentially what we're doing, we're changing lives. When you can offer the gift of mentorship and advice that's fruitful in a way where it creates a happy work environment, a happy lifestyle, and it motivates you to work even harder.
But that goes to show, when we started Rocko, we was paving the way, right? There wasn't a road that was already paved, right?
Mm-mm.
There was a path that was created, a path,
You ain't have
right?
to
But
go
not
there,
a
Chris.
road,
You're taking me down a dark place,
right?
man.
Right. So for you to say you're creating the safe space for fellow athletes, right? We didn't
Mm-hmm.
have that, right?
We
You might
didn't.
have had a guy that took you under the wing and kind of showed you the ropes to keep you valuable, but they didn't show you the ropes to keep you valuable from the contract side of it, right?
Mm-mm.
Right. We
Mm-mm.
didn't have that. So
Mm-mm.
now with the way that the world is changing and the fact that we've been in it 20 years, right? We
Mm-hmm.
can help these guys that's coming along to say, hey, we need to do XYZ this way versus how we did it back 04, 05, 06, right?
Especially when we're the ones that are bringing them in here.
Correct. Absolutely.
It's somewhat our responsibility because
Absolutely.
we're leveraging our careers and say, hey, you can do what we're doing.
Right.
So why would we want them to do it the exact same way? We would want it to be better. And not only
Absolutely.
is that a service that we're providing for them, that is just good karma. That's
Right.
just the right thing to do.
Right.
And
Right.
that's how I live my life.
Right. Right. We walked the path, right? We cleared the grass, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Cleared
Right.
that grass, baby. We
We
edged it
cleared
up
the
and
grass.
everything. Pulled them weeds. We put the fertilizer down. We
Oh
waited
yeah.
for 4 weeks before we put the seed down, and we watered that
Absolutely.
bad boy. We did everything that we needed to do.
Right.
Tried
So
to.
now it's time. So now it's time to pass the torch. Now it's time to help those guys that are coming behind us the right way. Right.
Facts.
Provide that leadership that we needed but didn't have at the time
Hmm.
when we got into the business.
And just got lucky that we made it through, because
But
damn sure there was a lot of mistakes on the way.
and there's a lot of people that started with us that didn't make it, right? That
Yeah.
fell off to the wayside, that got pushed out, that didn't take advantage of the certain opportunities that was presented, although they might have been small opportunities at the time. That shit happens. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they fell
Absolutely.
off. Doesn't make them bad guys, but the industry
It
weeded them out,
it was a
right?
grind, and it was
Right.
emotional at times. And you
Hmm.
had to be, you had to have thick skin, and you had to have a strong sense of self-worth, because you will get you early on in my career, I did get beat up because there were so many unknowns. And there was
Beat
and
up
I
is an understatement.
yeah, you and when you made a mistake, luckily, I think luckily for me, I felt like there was nothing else to do but to stay here and be stubborn and just wear them out with my presence, and eventually I felt like it would, produce fruit. But to say that we knew that this was going to happen for us and that, we were, it was just, I feel like we got lucky. Right place at the right time. Everything happens for a reason.
Exactly. I mean, I remember going back. I didn't think I was going to make it to year 3. Right?
I didn't make it to year 3. I was fired year 2.
Wait, you were?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about that next
The
week.
block was hot.
Save it for
That's
story
drama.
time.
We won't even. I won't even talk about it. I won't even talk about it. We gotta find someone else to talk about it. I erased that negative energy.
All right.
Whew.
Well,
Yeah.
In the name of in the words of Brandon Thompson, let the church say amen.
Amen. All the time.
No, God is good.
All the time.
God is good.
All right.
But yeah, so back to those contracts. That's the road we passed, like the road that was paved, right? So if that does go down, it's going to open up a lot of different avenues and a lot of different opportunities for all of us in the industry, not just
in
the
a positive way.
Yes, in a positive way, not just the minority side of it, not just the pit crew side of it, but just as worker bees as a whole, right? It's gonna change the way we do business.
That's good. I mean, I hope it all unfolds very well for everybody. So I just, last week we were talking about this to make it just a little more fun, and since I spent a lot of time on the internet, I collected some. Hold on. I collected some memes from this past weekend, and I think we should vote to see which one is the best one overall from Talladega. Adam, please.
Let's check this out.
It's so messed up. Michael Jordan holding Tyler Reddick after his win for the people that are listening. It's the photo from MJ holding Tyler Reddick's son.
No comment,
everybody has to make fun of
Why is
Tyler
all this
Reddick,
Reddick, man?
I don't know. It's short summer again. We can't do that. Tyler Reddick and Michael Jordan in victory lane at Talladega. I have stood next to Shaq. I technically work for him. I walked by him last year and I said, "You know what? You're not that tall." He was like, "Oh, okay."
Still winless.
Yikes. Good luck this weekend.
Oh, damn, Ford.
That one
That's
hurt.
Tough. That one hurt, Chris. That one hurt, Chris.
Funny.
That one hurt.
Oh.
Brad Keselowski trying to beat former BKR drivers. Former BKR drivers trying to beat Brad Keselowski.
Who are the formers?
I don't know.
I don't get that one.
Because it was he just started. Okay, Logano blocked.
Oh, God.
Hey,
no.
The internet is still undefeated.
Oh, yeah. Next.
Oh, man.
Hey.
Oh,
it's only
God.
because I love what's the actor's name?
Kevin James.
Yeah,
Like
I keep wanting to call him his
God.
King of Queens name, Doug Heffernan.
Oh, man.
That one is
coming out of turn 4.
these are so cruel. I like Michael McDowell, and you know what? And if I was in the same situation, I probably would have done the same thing. Trying to win, risk it all. You got to risk it for biscuit.
Wreckers or checkers, right?
Corey getting the call that he gets to be John Hunter Nemechek's team for a few weeks. I'm in danger.
In the legacy sweater, that's what kills it right there.
I work with Jimmy Johnson's brother. No comment.
Wait, did you send it? You sent the other one from last week?
I didn't have the balls. I was nervous because I might see him. Jimmy. I didn't want to do it. Ooh.
Oh, man.
Somebody posted that for the previous week too.
Oh, no.
Why is this one?
Kirby's on the bench. Kirby's on the bench. Kirby's on the bench. Kirby's on the bench.
I think that's all of them.
You know what this means? You know
I
what
think
this means?
that's all of them, though.
This means NASCAR is trending. You know, we're getting into the meme game now. You know, oh, there goes the witch doctor.
Hold on. Before we
Witch
get
doctor.
so we need to have a consensus, or at least vote on which one was the best. I personally think it's between the first one with MJ and Tyler Reddick's son, and the last one, which was no, not that one.
No, it was the drive. It was Corey LaJoy.
Yeah.
Kirby's on the fence. Kirby's on the fence. Kirby's on the fence. Kirby's on the fence.
I think
That's your
that's
winner.
the
I'm gonna go
one.
with that one.
Corey
I'ma go
LaJoy.
with-
I think everybody
Yeah.
loves
I'm gonna go with that one.
because
Good thing, Corey.
I don't like making fun of Tyler Reddick's height. I don't.
I don't either, man. Short people need love as well,
Like
you
I
know.
said,
And
Short King Summer again. Short King Summer.
we
I'm
need
not
short
gonna say
people. We
any.
never got. You won't have
There's
nobody to look
nothing-
down on.
You got a whole bunch. I look down on everybody, just about everybody.
Especially in heels, Crystal.
I don't wear them very often.
He's
You
6'3".
know, so my dad. No, I'm not. Oh, in heels I might be. You know, my dad saw the recording that we did at Beer
Facts,
Park
Adam.
in Vegas, and my dad calls me. He's like, "You need to be. I don't care if you don't want to wear heels, but you need to be dressed up to the nines and wear heels." And I'm just like, Dad, like,
He's on you.
if I do that, you're just gonna see.
Yeah. We can move the camera up, Crystal.
Yeah. We'll move it around.
I guess. Well, let's see. After Darling. No, yeah, we got Darlington after Dover.
Throwback weekend.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I've always wanted to go to a throwback race. I don't know
think
how
I'm going to
would
wear a
dress.
fire suit. I'm going to do a throwback fire suit for my hit on the TV screen, you know, because I do my at the green flag, and I'm thinking of busting out the old Kellogg's fire suit after
Well, now
they
you're gonna
just showed.
match. Yeah,
Yeah,
Kyle
I
Larson,
like that one.
Kellogg's, Terry Labonte.
There it
There we
goes. Look
go.
at that car. That thing looked pretty. The only difference between that car and the one that I did, I was with ours was primarily blue, and it was Tony the Tiger, you
Frosted
know,
Flakes.
on it. Yeah, it was the Frosted Flakes, where that's the corn flakes one. So, you know, I'm the sweet one.
It's a they're great.
I had the sugar. I had the sugar with my thing, you know,
The
Paul.
sugar beaties on your car.
Them frosty flakes.
I used to eat Frosted Flakes. That was like
I put sugar on my Frosted Flakes. There we
I
go.
did too. Oh, I see it. That's not how
What?
I imagined it to look for some reason, and I know I've seen it before.
When I pitted that car, I didn't have to buy groceries for about 6-7 months, you know, because you had no idea everything that Kellogg's made until, you know, they made everything, the kashi and all of the healthy snacks and everything. Yeah, I had no idea.
Oh.
All under the umbrella. All
The
under
more
umbrella.
you know. Well, we have done well, you guys. We had a lot to talk about this week. So we'll wrap it
We're
up.
done? Oh, we're
Yeah.
wrapping up?
Do you see the
Wrap.
time on this? The hour and
It's
30
so
minutes.
hard.
You're gonna make
to
Adam's
say
job so much harder than
goodbye
it has to be. He's
to
gonna have to chop it down.
yesterday. There we go. You gotta chop. Chop. Hey, it was
right.
good seeing you guys.
Do your thing,
Hey.
Rocko. Say that thing where it sounds like a pre-recorded recording of
What do you
wherever
mean?
you get your podcast.
He said, wherever you watch your
On the Grizzles, wherever you watch your podcast, Spotify, iTunes, Yanzer, Benzer, Kanzer, wherever you watch your podcast.
YouTube.
NightShifters, YouTube.
NightShifters.